Good day YouTube, UXO here with a little home improvement. Today we're going to talk about replacing a door handle with a new style door handle. This is an older house, so the problem we run into is that the inner diameter of the hole is not big enough for the new handles. So we'll talk about that in a bit. For now we'll remove the old door handle. It's quite simple. You got two screws located on each side of the doorknob. Depending how it was installed, these screws could be on the outside of the door or on the inside of the door. So you just remove the two screws. You want to do both sides at a time so you can pull the doorknob out. Otherwise the screws will be too long and they'll hit the doorknob itself, door handle. So you see how I'm pulling back on the door handle to keep it, and then once you get them out a little bit, you should be able to use your hands to remove the screws. If not, you use a screwdriver and continue to push back on this doorknob so that the screws don't hit the edge of the door handle. So once they're out, separate the doorknob by pulling each end, and then you have the doorknob out. Next, we'll remove the latch by removing the two face screws. And once you got these out, it's good. A good idea just to put your toe on the base of the door to hold it from moving. And then simply push out. The whole latch assembly will come out. And then next we're going to remove the striker plate. Again, two screws, just to remove them. This is an old house, like I said, so old screws, old flathead screws. Not the best because they can strip. So make sure you clean all the paint that's accumulated in the groove so that your screwdriver can fit nice and snug in there. Otherwise you'll end up stripping the screws. And that's a whole nother video. There we go. So the old doorknob is off. Now the problem we run into with an old house is the new doorknob. If we take a look, it doesn't fit. See, it won't fit in because the old style homes have a smaller diameter hole, where the new doorknobs have a larger diameter hole. So what we have to do is we have to bore out this hole to the new diameter. And how we're going to do that is that we're going to use a kit you can pick up from any local hardware store. I just happen to get this one. I'm not affiliated with any brands of tools that I use. It's just the ones that I bought. So on this thing you have a couple of options. First you have a hole diameter location. So you have 2 3/8 and 2 3/4, and you just push the tab down and move it back and forth. And what this does is it allows you to adjust your center hole further away from the edge of the door. And the reason to do this is that it's not bad on an inside door because you have no door frame in the way of your door handle, but on an exterior door you have a door frame that will come out. So if you have your door handle away, you have more room to turn. But since this is an interior door and I'm retrofitting it, make sure we can see that okay. And I'm retrofitting it, what I'm going to use, I'm going to use the 2 3/8. The 2 3/8 one, because it will make a perfect center hole, so my hole won't be elongated or anything. Where if I use the opposite side, it will make my hole irregular, and I'll have to patch inside there because it won't go right to that edge. So that's what I'm going to use. So how it attaches is you sink these 2 screws that are provided with your door handle into your existing plate screw holes. So we line it up. We take a look in the holes to line up the existing holes. And screw them in, not too, you don't over tighten them. Just want to snug them in there. Do both. So this will center everything. You see, it's pretty centered in there. And now I have a nice template for my borehole to go through. In the kit, you also get the hole saw to fit through here. So you're going to need an electric drill or a power drill again. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hold the door so it doesn't move. Insert the hole saw and we're just going to push all the way through. Once we're through, just go through one more time, make sure it's nice and clean. Then we're going to remove the jig by removing the 2 screws, 2 face screws. And you're going to need these screws for your new handle set. So clean it all out. Make sure there's no burrs in there because you don't want your new handle to catch in there on anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the latch in, ensuring the striker angle of the latch is facing your closet door. Then we're going to put the 2 front screws in. Then we're going to take the new door handle. I like to put the exposed screw holes on the inside of the door, except for an exterior door. This is just a closet door. So when you put it together, these little black washers have to line up with the screw shanks inside the door. and and then it allows your screw to follow straight in without having a hard time to try to line it up. So you put it in square. There's a square there. You put the square in, simple. Turn it, line it up, slide it through. And then on the opposite side, do the same thing. Line up the square, and then you can rotate this little outer edge to line up with the two screw guides. So once you got it in, you can start your screws, your long screws and your pack of screws that comes with the kit of the door. Just start them by hand. And second screw on the inside. And then the same thing as when I was telling you about taking it off, how you pull the door handle back to allow you space. You do the exact same thing when you're tightening it. And I'm using my power screwdriver, and I pulled it back, and I'm gonna start on each side, do a little bit of each side so that one side doesn't hit the handle. It's important to set your screwdriver to a lower torque so that you don't overstrip it. And you work all the way down till it's nice and snug. It looks like this side didn't line up properly. So I just loosen them off and see what's the problem here. There we go. So guess one of the washers was out of line. Those black washers. Continue to tighten it. And when you get pretty close in, you can then hold the doorknobs together like I'm doing now, because you have enough room to work your screwdriver on an angle. Okay, so we have the doorknob to do a quick, seems to work okay, we'll close it. So it latches with the old latch, which is great. So what I like to do is I like to close the door and look in here, and I can see the latch, and I'm going to put two little pencil marks on either side of it so I know where to light up the striker plate, because this was an old door handle, so everything was a little larger. So now the striker plate, so with my two pencil marks, I can see where the latch comes into the striker area. So I'm going to line it up using this little tab as a marker to fall in between my two existing lines, and then hopefully the screw holes will line up together. One of them does, so I'll put one in and then I'll counter drill the other, because I don't want the wood to crack. Again, you don't want to over tighten these, just snug them down. So I'm going to just countersink this new hole. And we'll drive the final screw in, trying to ensure that the striker plate is squared off. It looks okay, so I'll move the camera back here. Close the door, and there you have it. So overall, it's not a very complicated job. If you don't buy the kit, there's another way you can do it, is you can make a template of a piece of plywood, cut out your new borehole, attach it to the back side of the door, and then drill through the back way. But the kit in Canada was about 50 bucks, and it's a good metal and wood kit. So if you, and I have a lot of doors to do in this old house. So there you go. Simple job. You know, not a great skill level. Anybody can do this with a little bit of patience and have a nice new doorknob. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.